Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode with Hanging Out with K-Dubs. That's me. I got a older friend here that we've been friends for quite some time and finally conned her in, I guess, to coming on here. But everybody say hi to Miss Erin. Mrs. Erin, sorry. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
I think I'm the nervous one here
Really?
today. I can't talk.
Well, thanks for having me across from you in the chair.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is, you've done a lot of things in life. So this is, I'm kind of been looking forward to this one just from your background and where you started and where you ended up and where you are now. And it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, you went to college and what'd you go to college for?
I originally went to college to follow my dad in the accounting world. And
Where did you go?
I bounced around.
College
I wanted to
over
do,
here.
yeah, MCC, Columbia, I was all over the place. But nonetheless, got degrees. But in the meantime, in between that, probably didn't do it the traditional solid 4 or 5 years. But in between there, I did a stint as a travel agent so I could get some traveling done, dirt cheap. And then when Expedia started coming on,
Yay.
we were losing commissions because everyone could start now booking their travel online. I'm like, time to get out, time to get back grounded. Finished off school. I was going to sit for the CPA, but the Illinois changed their requirements. So I was done, was interviewing for a couple of accounting jobs, and then found a job starting off working customer service auditing at United Healthcare in Schaumburg. And I'm like, ooh, Harvard girl goes to the suburbs.
Nice.
So did a 5-year stint at United Healthcare.
So what did that job consist of?
I started out customer service on the phones, paying claims. Didn't know anything about health insurance.
So you were dealing with insurance companies at this point.
Working for United Healthcare, I had 5 groups that I dealt with.
Okay.
Allstate was one of our bigger clients at that time. Montgomery Ward. Now I'm aging myself, but Montgomery Ward, Zurich Insurance, you get the gist of it. But I didn't know anything about health insurance, so they put you through a 6-week class of health insurance. And
When you first started?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. So when you first started, you're like, here's your 6-week crash course on this.
Yeah.
Got it.
So thank God for that 6 weeks because that's leveled me up to where I am now. And it also opened your eyes up to, what really health insurance is. When I took the job, my friend's like, ugh, you're going to work for United Healthcare, the insurance company? That's legalized scamming. And I'm like, really? But now,
Kind of is.
yeah, live and you learn. So taking calls, I did that for a year, and then I applied for a position on the auditing team. Got on the auditing team, which also consisted of training. So I became a trainer, auditing claims, auditing high-dollar claims. And I remember at that time, so we're going back to 1996, the largest health insurance claim I paid was $500,000. And it was for 2 twins that were stuck in the NICU. And I thought, man, $500,000 in 1996. You're like blown away.
It's
now
still blown away, really. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still a lot of money.
it's a lot of money. It was a lot of money then. Think about what it is now. Think about, you one trip into the ER now.
Big money.
You're looking,
For something major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then United Healthcare was closing down the Schaumburg office. They offered me a job either in Greensboro, North Carolina, or out in Chico, California. Most of my friends thought I was going to go to California because I always wanted to go to California. I actually did a reverse and went and looked at the Greensboro office and decided at that time it wasn't for me. So I took my severance money and went to find something new. Mm-hmm. And then I landed for a private radiology group in McHenry, and I was there for 22 years.
So what did you do there?
There I started off basically doing the same thing, customer service. Did that for a handful of years, and I went to lunch one day and came back, and the practice director said, I'm taking a job in Florida and I'm leaving. And everyone looked at me and they're like, you got to take the job. And I'm like, okay. Well, let's do it. So we went over, we talked to the doctors, and the head doctor at the time was like, yep, you're it.
Okay.
You're doing it.
So you went from customer service, and then you went to, say that position one more time.
To practice director.
Practice director. Mm-hmm. So what are the jobs that a practice director has to do?
Well, first,
on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, because I'm sure it all changes.
It changes, So you're hiring, you got to build your staff up. You also have to, we were running a billing office. So the doctors at that time still maintained their own billing office. So we were doing all the in-house billing.
Whoa.
Which is, that in turn is a massive job. So you got to make sure you're staffed up for that. You also have to make sure your doctors are credentialed. You're helping the president hire doctors. You're growing. You're also still trying to maintain a high level of customer service. You're also still trying to maintain a high level, keeping that relationship between you and the other facilities, VPs at the other hospitals.
You're making sure everybody's happy.
I try. I try. But it's a lot of pressure, especially, I kind of known what she was doing, helped her out with some stuff. But when you're thrown into it, it's trial by fire.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's when you learn a lot, and that's when you start leaning on a lot of colleagues. And at that time, there was a really powerful organization that catered to our specialty, where I went. It was like a week later, I went to the national conference. I'm like, hey, I got the job.
I need help.
Can we talk? So I was heavily relying on my colleagues at that time. And that's why I tell people religiously, I don't care where you went to school. I don't care if you went to Purdue. I don't care if you went to NIU. You get a degree, and it's the person behind that degree that makes the difference. And the most powerful tool that you can have in your toolbox is networking.
Oh, because totally agree with that.
Exactly. There is no way I would have gotten to where I am today without networking.
And it's funny because networking is there's way more pros than cons. Mm-hmm. But there are some cons to it too.
There are.
But at the end of the day, it's if you can put your best foot forward in any conversation that you have with anyone.
Yes.
You just never know where it's going to take you.
Exactly.
You just never know. Exactly. It could be just a random person on the street. Hey, you're waiting in line for whatever. How you doing? Blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you may never see that person ever again, right?
Right.
But on the other hand, it might be you get talking about something that you mutually like or work. Maybe you got same types of jobs, or maybe you like the same type of sports. Shit, you just never know where that's going to go.
Exactly. And I wouldn't have gotten to where I am today without networking.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Me too.
You go to these conferences, you make friends, you form those bonds, you talk all the time. And, okay, everyone likes to go to a conference because you're going to see your buddies and you're going to have a good time. But on the other hand, you're still there, you're meeting new people, you're establishing who you are, where you are, and always looking for the next opportunity. And that's how I treated it.
Well, and the other thing, too, is when you go to these things, you can pick their brains on things. Like, hey, I just, 2 months ago, I ran into this problem, right? And whatever problem it was, I just ran into this problem. And I didn't quite know what to do or how to do it. So I winged it, or I thought up of this, and this is how I did it. What do you think? And then they go, God, you made that way too complicated. All you really need to do is this and this. And you go, oh, yeah. Why didn't I think of that?
I know. And then, but on the flip side, it's always nice when people come to you and they're like, we heard that you have this process down solid. What are you doing? Can we send people to you? Sure, absolutely. And lucky for me, I had a great staff behind me back then that we did have people come, or we did have people that wanted to pick our brains. And that, to me, was a reflection of how well we were and the staff behind me.
Absolutely. Yeah, it just shows that it took you a bit to get to where you need to be. But once you got there, then you said, okay, I've got this vision.
Yes.
And I'm going to put this vision, I'm going to start it right now.
Yes.
And you can start that vision. Obviously, you're going to have really good things that you do. And obviously, you're going to have piss poor things that you, and you go, okay, that's not working. We need to change this.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about what we've done here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the things that you do poorly, you can turn around and see that and go, okay, how do we bring this back up?
Yeah. Or the things that you're thinking that you're doing poorly, somebody else is doing too, and then you can collaborate and make it better together.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And I've over the years, whether it was through Deere or any other miscellaneous jobs that I've had, it was the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to get the process down. You need to learn the process, get that down, and then you can find ways to improve that and make it better.
Exactly.
Once you get to that point. Now, it might take you 2 months, 6 months, 6 years. It might take you however that amount of time. But once you get to that point, you can go, I get it now.
Right.
All right, let's start improving this.
Exactly. Because it didn't get this way overnight.
No.
And we would have these meetings at the beginning of the year. When I bring everybody back after the holidays, we'd have our first couple days back at work. I would sit down. We would have our meetings. What do we want to work on for this year? What do we think we need to improve on? Because the billing at that time was ever changing. Medicare's coming out with new things. They want you to report on this. When you sit down in the doctor's office now and they're asking you 50 questions, it's not because they want to, it's because they have to. Because of the
insurance companies.
Because of the insurance company. Because if they don't ask that, then they get dinged on a payer. They lose
What's
a percent.
That? Oh, they lose a percent.
They
because
lose a
they don't
percent of
ask
their
all
fee
these questions.
schedule if they don't fall within these guidelines these days. I mean, those are the little dirty secrets that people don't know. It's not because the nurse wants to make small talk with you. They have to ask you those questions, and it's daunting. But it's the stuff that they make you do. I can't tell you how many times I had to reinvest. I take a budget for my IT, and then the insurance companies would come out with some rule that I'd have to take that money and reinvest it because now I got to buy another add-on program to, facilitate what they want done now. And, when you're working with limited staff, you want to keep your margins
as low as possible,
exactly.
or as high as possible.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always said. When physicians look at numbers, you get the right number in the wrong physician's hands, or vice versa. It could be for a really long week, but it really is detrimental to a practice, especially when you're still private practice and you're not one of these big conglomerate billing companies.
So we kind of got off subject there a little bit, but I want to get back into that a little bit because, so you were working for this private practice and then, so you were the facilitator. Jesus, I cannot talk today.
Did you use all your words, Kyle?
I promise it's water.
Use all your words today.
Jesus. When you facilitate between the insurance companies and the doctors then. Is that, am I kind of understanding that correct way?
So we were private practice, but we were hospital-based physicians, which I think pretty much everyone hates because if you go in for an x-ray and you get your hospital bill, then all of a sudden you get a little smaller bill from the radiologist. We were private practice. That's our bill. And a lot of people would get upset with that. But at that time, and still is for the most part, how they're allowed to bill. But a lot of these private practices are going by the wayside because all of these large healthcare corporations are starting to acquire some of these private practices. So your doctor, who may be an independent physician today, may not be an independent physician tomorrow.
Because they're moving to the bigger practices,
right.
To the bigger companies.
Right.
Wow.
So I worked in private groups for 24 years.
So when you were there, so like I go in, like you said, I broke my collarbone, right? I've done that. Fill out all the paperwork, you take off, you do an x-ray. Does the doctor then say, okay, Erin, this is what we need to bill. You need to talk to the insurance company because this is what I want to bill. And then the insurance company comes back and says, no, this is what we need to do. How does all of that work?
So you have...
For what you can tell me. How's that?
Okay.
Because I know there's
no dirty secrets. You sign a contract with these insurance companies, okay? So you sign a contract, you get a fee schedule. Okay?
Got it.
So you have the fee schedule. You go in, we'll just use Blue Cross. So say you have Blue Cross, you go in, your bill's $40. My fee schedule may only be $10. So I'm writing $30 off unless you've met your deductible or you have your co-insurance, what have you. Then you're responsible for that.
Got it.
A lot of people will try to discount the deductible. You're really not supposed to do that. The deductible is the contract between you and your insurance company that you have to fulfill.
Correct.
A lot of people fail to understand that or don't realize that.
Yeah, so like and everything's different, right? Like usually HMOs don't usually have deductibles because they just don't have that. But you have to stay in network
Yes.
for said insurance company.
Yes.
So you have to go to their doctors, you have to see their physicians because it's an HMO. This is how it's going to work. And then when you have a PPO, and if I'm wrong with this, call me out.
No.
A PPO, there are so many different ones. It's not even funny, from co-pays to just high deductibles to major medical. There's so many different ones out there. It's hard to even keep them all straight.
It is. When I first started working at United Healthcare, the highest deductible plan, so again, going back to 1996, the highest deductible plan at that time was a $250 deductible, 80/20, $2,000 out of pocket. Everything else was paid for. Could you imagine having that plan now?
I'd kill for it.
Right. Or you'll pay for it with your premium.
Yeah, because everything's so freaking high right now. Like my insurance, I mean, I'll give out some details on my insurance, but my insurance is pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, the deductible sucks, right? Mm-hmm. But after the deductible, I owe nothing.
Yeah,
But it's not a small deductible. It's not a $1,500 deductible. All right, it's quite a bit more than that. Mm-hmm. But if something major happens, I'm not going to lose my house. I'm not going to lose my property. I'm not going to lose my vehicles because I have to sell them off to pay my medical bills. You know what I mean?
Right. I get hit up at the beginning of every year by a bunch of people that don't understand their plan or want me to help them with their plan. I'm more than happy to, because if you're offered a flexible spending plan, if you're offered an HSA, you have to take advantage of it, not just for the tax reasons, but exactly what you said. You got to think about it. So when people ask me, work gave me these 5 different plans, what do you think? And the first thing I ask them is, you're relatively healthy, but anything can happen.
Yeah.
Max out your HSA, max out your FSA, whatever you have, max that out, get your tax, benefit. And then you have that money just in case. So you don't run into these unexpected bills. I mean, you're not going to avoid them these days.
No.
It's
no, but you might be relatively healthy, but you go out here and you break an ankle.
Yep.
Now they go in, they do surgery on it. Now your ankle gets infected. Oh. And it can just go on
it can
and on.
snowball.
It can snowball real quick. And all of a sudden you got $100,000 worth of medical bills.
Sure.
And in today's world, that's not really that hard to do. I hate to tell you.
No.
So what's some of the biggest changes from when you started 24 years ago? And I know we haven't gotten to today yet, but in the insurance / in the position that you were in and things like that, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen that are not good?
The shortage of doctors. If you would have asked me, say 10 years ago, if I was sitting at one of my conferences, and I've gone to many conferences. If you would have asked me that we would have a shortage of doctors that we have now, I would have been like, no way. I've gone through a spell. Luckily, it's a little better now, but I've gone through a spell like the last 3 years where it's just been brutal to hire a physician. And I don't care what specialty it's in. The other thing is the rate of malpractice in Illinois.
Is that really high?
Yeah, it's high. And
really?
I think that's one thing that people don't take into consideration too. They're like, your doctor makes a lot of money. Well, makes a lot of money, but
spends a lot of money in
malpractice insurance to make sure everything is good. Malpractice insurance. I think the biggest thing is the way that the insurance companies changed their way of operation. You look at the deductibles then, you look at the deductibles now, you look at what they're paying, what you have to jump through hoops to get something paid. I had a good friend that passed away, but he had cancer and needed a PET scan, And I won't say who the insurance company was, but he had really good insurance with a really good insurer, and they flat out denied his PET scan. I'm like, the guy's not here having a PET scan because he wants to have a good time. He's got a legit cancer diagnosis.
Sorry.
No, but I mean, it's true.
It was funny
though.
the way you said that.
It's true, and it's actually the way I train the billing office. I would tell the billing office, it sounds like a cheesy attorney, but I would tell them like I'm ripping off Gruber Law, one call, that's all, right? I don't want to be known as the office where you have to call 12 times to get a problem resolved. I mean, these people aren't calling because they want to, because they have to. They didn't go to have something done because they wanted to. You have somebody that's going because they had to have a procedure done that's relatively nervous. They didn't know what's going on. And I don't want to be the problem bill that they have.
Correct.
And that's the way that I would train the office. And I never had an answering service. I always had someone pick up the phone because we all know what it's like when you try to call somewhere and you got to press all these numbers and it's like 0. I'll lay on the 0. I don't care how long it is, right? I mean, we've all been there.
Just get me to a human being, for Christ's sake.
I just want to talk to somebody. And when I was in charge of the billing office, that's the way I taught them. Because when you don't want to be in those shoes either.
It seems to me, tell me, again, if I'm wrong, call me out, please. But it seems to me like you said, especially over the last 10, 12 years, health insurance is definitely becoming a money-making business.
Yeah.
And not a life-saving business.
Yeah. I think we all know that. Take a look at what's happened. And
that's my opinion. And that's my opinion. But just like you said, all of a sudden here's somebody that needs a PET scan. They go, no, we don't want to pay that. Well, what do you mean? We have health insurance hoping we never have to use it, which means we're paying you year after year. Let me rephrase that. We're paying you month after month, year after year, and hoping that we never have to use it. But if we do, you need to have my back.
It's a terrible experience.
This is for. And that's not just for health insurance. That's for automotive insurance. That's for house insurance. That's for property insurance. It's everything. We don't want to use it, but if we have to, protect me. Yeah. That's what I'm paying you for.
Yeah. And it's true. And to see some of these insurance companies, the way so many, I saw it at United Healthcare when I worked there, where we had I don't want to use AI because AI wasn't a thing back then, but we had automated claim processing. And that would take care of the easier claims, office visits, chest x-rays, what have you. And now with AI involved, you see some of these larger insurance companies, they're just auto-processing these claims. And then the denials you get back are so ridiculous that you have to look at it twice to make sure you're not losing it. I'm like, this was a chest x-ray. Why are you denying it? We had the modifier on it. So then you got a call. Then you're on hold. And when you realize that you're on call and you're on hold for something that may only get you $9 in return, people in the office would get frustrated because I'd make them call on them. But it's the patient. It's your job. It's the patient.
Yeah. You have to
leave the doctor out of it. It's your job. It's the patient.
Yeah. But AI is going to get better at that, right? I mean, we're in the very, really early stages of artificial intelligence. We really are.
It makes me nervous.
Give it 2 years, you probably won't have any of those that come back. And if you do, it's going to have a whole generated reason why it rejected this or accepted this. You know what I mean?
I know.
So with that, just give it a little time.
Makes me nervous.
It's going to be all right. Just give it a little time. But AI makes me... I'm excited to see what it evolves and becomes, but I'm also very, very nervous on it.
Yeah. I think it makes me nervous.
A little of both over here.
Yeah.
Excited and nervous, kind of that. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's make a date and we'll talk in 2 years.
Yeah. Deal.
All right, done.
Are you guys, let's not get to that point yet. So you were there for 22 years, you said, right? You were right there at the private practice, which means you really must have loved what you did then.
I did. And I still do. I'm out of private practice. I work for a larger corporate medicine, but I miss private practice because I miss being able to have, I don't want to say control, but there's something to your independence when you're an independent provider. And
there's probably a lot more rules and regulations you got to follow now than probably when you did back then.
I do.
You had a little more freedom back then to be like, no, make that phone call, to where now it's like,
I did.
Do we?
Now I got to put a ticket in for everything I need to do. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to being able to do everything, knowing I was doing it, getting it done, or knowing that someone on my staff is getting it done. Now,
so what happened to that private practice then? Did that get bought out? It
did. They got bought out. And then the power of networking happened. And I got a phone call when it was getting bought out. And it was from a friend that I worked with. I actually got to speak at their user conference. It was for our software company at that time.
Oh, cool.
So I got to speak at their user conference, and the power of networking happened. And they said, hey, do you mind driving to Iowa? And I'm like, where? And they're like, Quad Cities. All right, I can do that. So I did a 2-year gig out in Iowa for another private practice group.
For a private practice group out there.
Right. The beauty of that is people are like, oh, you're working in Iowa? I'm like, yeah, and I like it. And then they would look at me, and they're like, what do you mean? And I'd say, I can leave Harvard at 6:15 in the morning, and I can be at my desk in Davenport by 8:45, and that's with going to Quick Star over there, where I would leave Harvard and get downtown. I got a 2-hour train ride, and then I still have to get wherever I'm going, downtown or in the south suburbs. I didn't mind it. I go out to Iowa twice a month, worked for the private group out there.
Otherwise, you could do everything at home then?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise? So that's pretty cool that you could do everything remote then.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like you said, a couple times a month, you got to go out there or whatever. But, and I take it you like that.
I did. It was a step down from what I had done. So it was basically not a private or not a practice director position. I took the billing manager job out there, which kind of brought me back down to get back into the billing mode because I wasn't sure where I was going. I knew this was just a temporary stop in my career. And
we all have those.
Yeah, we do. It was just a temporary stopover that ended up being 2 years, but it was great. First job that I had out there was reestablishing the billing office. So it was hiring a whole new demographic of people.
Build it back up.
And I remember one of the candidates that had come in had no medical billing experience. Because out here, we're suburban-ish. You can get a pool of applicants.
Well, I have heard something, and it's going to stick with me forever. We are in the donut hole of the Midwest, right? You go 45 minutes to an hour in any direction, you're going to be in a big city.
Yep.
Whether it's Chicago,
Yep.
Milwaukee, Madison, Rockford, DeKalb, Sycamore, Huntley. I mean, these cities are getting bigger and bigger. So when you are here, whether you are in the middle of that donut hole or you're towards the edge, like you said, you're going to have applicants from everywhere.
Right. And I go out to the Quad Cities, and your applicant pool is
much
smaller. And so we put an ad out, got the ad out right when I got there, started interviewing some applicants. And this woman came in, and if she ever listens to this, she'll know who she is. But she came in, she had 0 medical billing experience, but she had a slew of customer service experience. And I interviewed her, and you could tell within the first 5 minutes of talking to someone if they're genuine or if they're just blowing smoke up your ass.
If you're good at reading people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my doctors did tell me that, I was good at. We would always have an over/under of, is this doctor going to stay? And I'm like, nah, he ain't going to stay. That one might. This guy, nah, I don't think so. But so I interviewed her and took the resume to the manager at the time. I'm like, I want to hire this chick. And he's like, she's got no medical billing experience. I said, I don't care about that. I said, I can teach medical billing. I said, but she's got customer service, and you can't teach that.
Nope.
And she interviewed well. And he fought me on it. And I eventually won. I hired her, and she ended up being one of my best employees out there. Because you just can't teach customer service. Either you have it or you don't, and that's what I need. I'll teach you everything else under the sun about medical billing, but customer service comes.
You got to have that aptitude of, hi, how are you today?
Yes.
How's things? What can we do for you? And that stuff can be taught, but you have to mean it, though. You have to mean that. And there's a lot of people out there that are very good at talking like that, but you can tell at least I can tell pretty quick. I'm like, I don't really mean it. That's just their job. That's what they have to do.
Yeah, I'll say it and I'll wink at you. But she had the drive. And, she was coming off of a little bit of a rough patch. She had a gap in her resume, but I wanted her. And I knew that she would be the perfect person for the job I was hiring for. And then she came in and she was just shy.
She kicked ass.
She did. And then when I left there, she got another position, and she's kicking ass all over the Quad Cities and what she does now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that. You helped just power start a career.
I connect people. I can facilitate people, but you can't. When I'm hiring people, I want people that are going to have the same integrity, the drive, the will to get something done. I don't want people that are going to sit there and play on their phones all day long, or, I got to leave at 3. So many of these people that I interviewed out there, and I interviewed some here, don't get me wrong.
They're everywhere.
It's everywhere. But, the ad specifically said 7:30 to 4, 8:30 to whatever.
Whatever it was.
And then Friday was like, I always wanted people out of the office by 4 on Fridays. I don't care where I worked. I wanted them done by 4. Get out, go and enjoy your weekend. And I get these people that come in and they're like, well, can I leave at noon on Wednesday? I can only work here. I can only work there. I'm like, no, the ad said, it's not pick your own hours, And I think there's so much of that goes around. It's hard to find those people that want to fulfill.
Well, and I think COVID kind of screwed some of that up
too.
Yeah. Because of we're going to pay you to work from home and that kind of thing, and you can make your own hours as long as you're getting your stuff done, which there's some jobs out there that you can do that, right? You can make your own hours. I was talking to a neighbor over the weekend, and that's what her job was, right? She worked from home, and she could make her hours whenever she wanted to make them, as long as by Saturday midnight and Sunday morning, the following Sunday, everything was done and complete. She says it was perfect. She says, I'd get up early in the morning, kid would still be sleeping, I'd work 2-3 hours before the kids get up. Send them off to school, work 3-4 more hours, get some other things done, bring them home, put them to bed, work 2-3 more hours. Guess what? My day was done.
Right.
Now, it's not quite, we're getting back to where we were pre-COVID.
Right. And unfortunately, in the healthcare industry, you don't have those options that much anymore. I mean, I would let people work from home if they had the ability to. When I had the billing office, if the coders wanted to work from home, that was important for them to be in a quiet space to focus on it. And I'm not taking it away from any other jobs, but if you have a customer service job, I know a lot of people can do them from home, and I think that's great. But I also think there's something to be said is you're working with 10 other people and you're only seeing them once a month or once every other week. You still need to build that relationship. You can build a relationship over Teams. And my first dose of working remote was the Iowa job. And for me, being in an office setting for so long and then being sent to a remote island, my living room or wherever it would be, I actually enjoy going to Iowa to see the team. And I would make them all come in for a meeting. I don't think they liked it, but I made them all come in for a meeting because the rule I established when I was out there is if I'm there, you're there too.
Yep. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all.
People get into a pattern and then they forget that, you still have a level of responsibility in person.
Yeah. Well, you still have a level of responsibility. Even if your pattern has been the same or your routine has been the same, sometimes the routine changes. Sometimes you have to change it for whatever reason, but you still got to do that to get the job done and to fulfill the duties that you said that you were going to do.
I know. I remember when I got my current position, I'm like, I'm going to have to go shopping because I haven't bought office clothes in so long. So it was kind of fun to go back out shopping, but it's also fun to be back in a setting. I mean, I'm predominantly in a facility, in an office.
So I'm assuming you left there or?
Yeah.
you left there to go to the big company that you're at now.
Yep. Yeah, actually, well, I left Iowa, went back did 2 more years in private practice, and then this past January, I went corporate.
Big old corporate.
Yep.
Do you like that better than the private sector?
It's been a change.
That doesn't really answer the question whether you like them more. I'm sure there's probably certain things you like
There
more.
is. Don't get me wrong. I was used to having globs of PTO time. I had to start over at 0.
That sucks.
So, I like to travel.
Yeah, I do.
So that was a big dent in my
And you're traveling.
my lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, you can build that back up.
I'm building back better. But the benefits are better. When you're working with private groups, the benefits only go so far.
They do.
And while working private to me was a big benefit, you also miss out on some of the 401k options. I mean, I got treated very well with retirement all throughout my private career, but there's something to be said about going corporate. The benefits are better. There's more resources, more opportunities. Finding out I get a lot of discounts in the corporate world. So I'm starting
good, bad, or otherwise,
starting
right?
to ease into it. So it's been a change when you've been in private practice for so long and then you go to corporate. When you're used to doing things for yourself, knowing that they're done, and now going corporate and having to put a ticket in and relying on 5 other people to get the job done when you could have had it done an hour ago. That's what's the biggest change, because healthcare moves at a fast pace. And, I need an answer now.
Right.
So, again, it's been a change. It's been a few months. I think I'm starting to
Get the hang of it now.
get the hang of it.
Are you still doing the same type of job that you were doing in the private sector?
No, completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
What is it now that you're doing then?
Well, I still have physicians that I'm responsible for, but now it's a lot more accountability with a facility.
Okay.
So I'm more focused on building better programs within a facility.
Got it.
So, for instance,
Your internal team.
my internal team. So, for instance, one of the biggest projects that I'm working on right now is stroke response time.
Nice.
So that hits home to me. My mom had a stroke. So something that, you want to see. We all want our loved ones to be worked on right away. So one of our biggest projects that we're working on now is stroke response time. So that's just one of the few things.
And that's in the hospital, outside the hospital?
I'm all in.
Inside. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. That's probably that is a kind of a whole different ball game. But it's
It is.
similar because you built everything over here at the private sector.
Yep.
And then you went out to Iowa and you built that building from the ground up. And now you're literally building new things here on the internal side for the company that you work for.
Yeah. It's weird because a lot of the stuff that I may have seen on the private sector that I never had to be on meetings for, I'm on the meetings for now. So, it's fun, but it's every day is a learning experience. And I'm much as I may kind of get upset about it, because now I'm not used to seeing people seeing my calendar. So I've had to learn to block time on my calendar. I'll look at my calendar. I'm like, oh, someone put a meeting on at 3:00 on a Friday. Who is this? This
Damn
better
them.
be good. I got plans. I'm not used to that. It's little things like that. When I was in control of all of that before.
Yeah.
Now I didn't realize my calendar could be seen by everybody, so I had to start putting little blocks in.
I will not be available Monday through Friday.
No, it's good. But, again, it hasn't changed. I think I don't care what you do in healthcare, you still have a responsibility. The hospital's open 24/7, 365. I worked a little bit over 4th of July weekend. We had an issue, handled it. That job doesn't stop. So
No.
I think for someone that may be getting into it, they're not used to it. This is all I've ever done. It's all I've ever known.
Right.
And so for me and my counterpart.
Besides the accounting in college.
Yeah.
but once you got out of that
Sorry,
and into the
Dad.
position and got into the position that you're in, the last 25 years or whatever, that's what you've been doing.
That's all I've been doing. That's all I know. And when I interviewed for the job, they tried to offer me the job a couple of years ago. I turned it down. I still had the opportunity to stay in private practice, and I wanted to stay in private practice. Just given my, the situation I was in at the time, I wanted to stay in private practice for a while. When they came calling a second time, I'm like, they're not going to call a third. I'm going to take it. So December 18th is a day that will live in infamy. So
wrong, or otherwise.
Yeah, I got the call, and I'm like, okay, done.
Let's do it.
And so
let's
it was
figure it
done.
out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I felt good about it, and I still feel good about it now, and I'm happy. And it's nice to see a lot of the old colleagues that I've worked with before that are happy to see you back, and glad that you're there.
Part of the team now.
Part of the team.
Yeah.
I'm on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, if you had to pick one health insurance company and a plan or two, do you have specific ones that you would tell somebody, like, this is what I would do if you can afford to do it, or if your company can afford to do it, or whatever?
Yep. I think we'll use us as a perfect example. Okay. My first thought is, if you have the ways and the money and the means to do whatever, I would always go with a PPO, because take a look where we're at. We can go to Mercy. We can go to Northwestern. We can go to Aurora. We can go to Advocate. The options for us are there. Yeah, UW. We have options here. Yeah, we have to drive, but we have options. I would say if you're cash strapped and you're not picky, I would stick with an HMO to control your expenses. But if you're someone that may have a health issue or two and you want to have your options, I would roll with a PPO.
The PPO.
I would, because I like to have options.
I do too. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot of people that have, me personally, but I don't just come up and say, hey, what kind of health insurance you got?
Yeah.
I don't know too many people that have HMO, but I'm the same way as you. I like to have options. I like to, if I have a problem, I go see a doctor and they tell me this is what it is, and I don't like the sound of that, I can go to another doctor and he or she might tell me the same thing, but I can do it.
Yeah.
I can go and get that second opinion. I can go and find somebody who's never seen my body before, who's never looked at it, who's never seen it under a microscope, and get their honest opinion to it.
Every health system's got phenomenal physicians.
Absolutely.
It's who you gel with. And that's why I tell people, you got to be an advocate for your own health care. And this may be shocking, I have a cardiologist, but I've gone through 3 of them before I finally hit on the one that works for me, that knows my goals. He knows where he needs to get me. And he's a Mercy physician. And that's not
right, wrong, or otherwise.
Right, wrong, or otherwise. I have doctors at Northwestern, I have doctors at Advocate, and I have doctors at Mercy. The options are there. Am I going to pay for it because I'm on a different health insurance plan now? Absolutely. But I don't want to lose this guy. And let's face it, we've all got attached to a doctor. And then next thing you know, they're gone. You get a letter in the mail.
Moving on, or retired.
So out of here. And it's like, why? And then the options that they give you, the options that they give you, right, wrong, you can't get into them. And we've all called for an appointment, myself included. You call for an appointment, they're like, oh, we can get you in November.
Yeah, October.
What? I'm like.
Do you think that's because of the shortage of doctors right now?
I think it's because of the shortage of doctors. I have lots of theories. I'll probably get killed over them, but I'm serious. I think it's a shortage of doctors. I also feel that I don't feel some of the offices have gotten off COVID time. Right. I feel like the office hours some of the office hours aren't expanded back anymore. There's a number of different things. I would chalk it up now to a doctor shortage, that they're just maxed out. I've had tests that have been canceled on me because I don't have a tech. So when my friend came up to me and she's like, well, what do you think my daughter would do? I'm like, get her into x-ray school quick. You
can make a ton of money.
Get her into X-ray school. Get all that done. My niece is going to X-ray school. get them in, get specialized in something and make bank. Because even nursing, a traveling nurse,
registered nurses right now, huge.
Anything. I mean, you're going to work the holidays, you're going to work the garbage shifts, but it's going to pay off in the end big time.
Yeah, the first 5 years probably going to suck, right?
Yeah.
But beyond that, now is when it starts.
Yeah, I have told 2 or 3 people in the last probably year, when they're looking for something to do, get into X-ray school, get in quickly, because you can get your gen eds, get all your basic, get your X-rays, get the X-ray part done, and then go specialize in something like ultrasound. I still work with the vein clinic, and it's been hard to find someone to come in an ultrasound. I mean, it's not like we're doing the best ultrasounds in the world. They are daunting X-rays or daunting ultrasounds. But at the end of the day, I'm going to pay. I'll pay you good money to come in and do our ultrasound.
Yeah.
And we just can't find anybody. So we have to farm it out to a service. So I have a service that comes in.
Do you think they're just as good as people like on your staff?
Yeah, I mean, they're good, and they're no different than anybody else.
Okay.
They're just working for a service. So whether they just got out of, they're looking for their first job, doing this, that's fine. But it's just sad when we're living where we live, and you can't pull the applicant pool.
Because there's no applicants.
Just no one. Yeah, there's no one. I had an ad out for a physician. It's like, who wouldn't want? Well, we could debate that, but your first thought is, who doesn't want to live in Chicago? Well,
I don't want to live in Chicago.
I don't. I'm out. Been there, done that. I'm out. But for someone living in a different area.
Yeah, right. If they want to see Chicago and they want to get started on the right foot with their first job and things like that, it's a great opportunity.
I remember days like we would always joke. I'd go to a conference and they're like, "Oh, how far you recruited out?" And I'm like, I'm good. I got 3 years in. I'm like, I got nobody now.
Yeah, which is scary.
Right.
Which is really scary. Do you think that's just because medical school is so damn expensive that we're not getting doctors and nurses and X-ray techs and?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I mean, you enter in to be a physician, and you're going to have the medical debt. I think a lot of it has to do with what they're offering. I used to offer, one of my last offers to a physician when I was in private practice was partner day 1, full vacation. Who would want to take partner day 1, full vacation? And you still couldn't pull anybody because there's such a shortage that they can go anywhere and negotiate a deal.
And get a better deal, probably.
And get a better deal. I had a doctor that left us and went down south, got to pick her own clinic, and made $200K more with banker's hours. And she called me and she's like, "I got banker's hours, Erin." I'm like, hang on to that.
F you. I need you back.
I'm like, hang on to that. I mean, wow. That's the other thing. When you're in private practice, you can't compete. Sometimes you're strapped, right? The best you can do is partner day 1, full vacation. The money is going to be the money. But you can't compete with some of these other offers that are coming around. And
I'm kind of going through that right now. I'm figuring a lot of that out right now too.
Yeah, I bet you are.
But you still, like you said, you got to do what you got to do, right? You're going to find somebody. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be next week. It might even be next month. But you will find somebody.
Right.
And you're going to find somebody like in your situation that's going to be really good for the practice.
Right.
You just got to find that right opportunity. Find that right person that's looking for that kind of opportunity. And you know what? I like the area. I like the people. Let's try it.
Right. Or in my case, that's how we went from private practice to corporate. When you can't find anyone that wants to work for you, then the corporate guys come knocking on your door and they're like, "Hey, we know your situation. This is what we can do for you." Sold. And at that, I would have fought that, and I fought that for years with the other 2 groups I was with. Mm-hmm. You can't fight that anymore when they're offering more and more benefits, more money, better hours, and they can give you extra staff right off the bat. You can't fight it. No. So
I want to ask you something because I want your opinion on this. I think it's awesome. There is a little place up the road from here.
Yep.
That does not accept health insurance.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay. I don't want to mention any names.
Nope.
People that know, people that don't, and you want to know, call me.
It's a local thing.
It is. But what do you think about that?
I think,
no, let me give my opinion first, and then I'll hear yours.
Go.
I think it's great for simple things.
Exactly.
Right? I think it's great for checkups, blood work, if you have the flu, if you have emphysema, whatever. It's great for stuff like that. Now, when you get into bigger, more higher dollar amount medical problems, it's probably best to go to your Mercies, your Northwesterns, et cetera, et cetera. But I think for small, simple things, I think that place is perfect.
I agree. 100% agree. It's no different than the situation I was in a couple weeks ago. Tore my calf muscle.
Ooh.
I'm not going to go sit at urgent care. I know better. I'm not going to go sit at urgent care. I'm not going to go sit in the ER. I'm not going to clog up the ER because I know this. Luckily for us, we got an express ortho place in between us that you can pick and choose, make your appointment online and go. You kind of cut out the middleman, and then you move on with your treatment. It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. If you're having a heart attack, yeah, you have no choice. But you tear your calf muscle because you might have been out bowling. I don't know.
How the hell did you tear your calf muscle bowling?
I don't know. Was that loud?
It sucks getting old, doesn't it?
Not old.
I'm old.
27 forever.
Hey, to a 5-year-old, though, that's pretty old.
It was. I may have. Yeah, I remember that.
It's all relative.
It is. Got a big birthday coming up, too.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's just another number.
It is, right?
It's just another number.
My birthday's on a Saturday.
There you go.
Anyway. But I think those places are good because I think not only you go to the ER, what are they going to do? Oh, we're going to wrap it up. Here's a referral for an ortho. See ya. Now you're already $10K in. I'm just throwing it out there.
You're X amount of dollars in already because you went to the emergency room.
Right. So you go to one of these, there's 3 of them by us. If you want them, let me know. Message me. They cut out the middleman. You make your appointment online. You already got access to your ortho. Boom, you're done. I mean, obviously, if you have a compound fracture, it's a little different story.
Correct.
But
yeah, you break your arm, you break a leg, whatever, then you got to go to the ER for that.
It might be a little too extensive, but you tear a muscle, whatever.
Simple things,
Simple things.
Simpler things.
And I agree. So I'm glad that those places are there.
Yeah, me too. Because I gotta get my health card renewed every other year for my CDL.
Sure.
They do it right up there.
Yeah.
Make an appointment. Oh yeah, we can get you in. Won't be tomorrow. The next day.
Yep.
3:00. Perfect. I'll be there.
And you call your GP.
Yeah.
6, 8, 12 weeks.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that depends the last time that you've seen your GP.
Yeah. Because certain groups, if you're not there, they drop you.
They do. If you
And
haven't seen them in X amount of time, then they drop you, and then they got to see, well, do you want this person back as a client? If so, we're 3 months out.
Welcome to the new patient world.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But
It is
I
what it is.
don't know
the
how
world
we're
we're living in.
I don't know how we're going to get around it right now.
We're not. But I am grateful for those places because I think they help out more than anyone knows.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. Just because, like I said, you can call them up. Hey, I got to get my physical done for my CDL. Okay, we can get you in 2 days from now.
Yep.
Cool. Go up there. You pay I don't even know what the hell it was, $90. It's out of pocket, but so what? You're going to have a deductible anyway, more than likely, unless you have an HMO.
Right.
It's still going to cost you $95 or $90 or whatever it was, because your deductible is going to be whatever. Still got to pay the deductible off. Might as well just go get it done.
Yeah. Those clinics are little saviors in our chaotic healthcare world.
I think we're going to start seeing more and more of them pop up.
I agree. I already see that with the functional medicine places, where they go in, you're going to pay through the nose, but if you really want to know what's wrong, someone's got something going on that they've been to 4 different doctors and they haven't,
figured it out.
I'll always suggest. I know friends that have gone to some functional medicine doctors.
I guess I don't know what they are.
They just run a whole bunch of tests and really take their time going through everything with you. I haven't gone to one in years. I used to go see one in McHenry because I just wanted to check it out. I had a friend that had huge success. I'm like, what is this? But again, you're paying out of pocket. They're not cheap. But if you have something that you really want to know what's going on and you have the ways and means to do it, by all means, go.
So what do they do? Like check your blood work?
Yeah, they just run extensive blood panels on you and then decipher it from there.
And break it down to figure out, oh, it's this or it's that or whatever, because we're seeing this in this blood panel, but we're not seeing it over here. And they just break it down farther is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I've had people go for food. I've had friends that have gone for food allergies.
Oh, okay. They can break it down that far then.
They can. Or my friend's like, I can't eat tomatoes anymore. Too acidic. Does this. And I'm like, what? Tomatoes? You know that eliminates ketchup.
Sauce, pizza sauce. Oh, pizza sauce.
So... But, little things like that. But I think you're right. I do see a lot of those forthcoming in the future. And I am really grateful for the pop-up ortho clinics because I've had to use those twice in the last couple of years.
So what do they do about your calf muscle then?
I was in a boot for 2 weeks. Couldn't run. Can't run. I go tomorrow morning, so hopefully they'll clear me.
To start running?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got a 50K coming up here, don't you?
October. 50.
I'll pass. I'll let you run for me. How's that? You can take my spot.
I'm going back to redeem my time, so it'll be fun.
How many miles is that again?
I think this one's like 32, 33.
And that's around here somewhere?
It starts down in Sheridan, ends in Kelowna. It's through Ornery Mule Racing, so it's the Hennepin 50K.
I'm assuming that's uphill, downhill.
No, it's flat.
Well, that's good.
Which is good. So it works out well.
Do you run it the whole way, or?
No. I walk it. I got my plan in my head. There's 8 stations every 5 miles. I break it down by that. And then... So
you run 5 miles and walk 5 miles, run 5 miles, or just...
Little run, by minute.
Got it.
Maybe run a minute. So...
Still, it's a long way.
Yeah.
It's a lot of miles put on in a day.
I finished it right after our friend Wayne died.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever told anybody this story, but maybe Michelle. I think I told Michelle this story. But Wayne had passed away, ran it. It's always the first weekend in October. And anybody at that time who knew me knew I hated running in the rain. And the race starts at 5 o'clock because it goes all night.
So you run the night?
Yeah, which is another story. But Wayne would, when we were always play softball, Wayne would be like, I can't believe you pay money to run, Erin. Sitting there Friday night in Capron playing softball. And I'm like, I got to run in the morning. I got to race in the morning. I can't believe you pay the money to run. So I would always hear Wayne saying that to me. So race started to rain, and I'm like, oh, come on. And this random lady ran by me, and she's like, turn around. There's a rainbow. And I turned around, and I'm like,
oh, Wayne.
So, and that was the year that my other friend had passed away earlier in the year, and that was Phil Jacobs. So Phil Jacobs passed away, Wayne. And then, so I just kind of was like,
all right, you see me. You see me, I see you.
I got you. I'm going to finish it. And
how long did it take you to run that, or walk it?
I think it took me about 8-9 hours.
Wow.
I stopped. I spent a lot of time at the aid stations, and then especially the last one. My dad was there with me, so
that's cool.
Yeah, he started getting into the whole groove thing. So I knew I had to do it and finish it so he could see it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was good. So I'm gonna go back. I'm ready to go back and
try it again.
Do it again and shave some time off.
Good. Yeah, well, as soon as you can start running and walking.
I know, I'm getting kind of nervous.
Yeah, you got a couple months.
It's weeks. 12 weeks.
See? Couple months.
I know.
Almost 3.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, you probably have to get after it a little bit.
Yeah.
But
it's fun. It's a good time.
I'm sure you meet a bunch of different people down there, too, that do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried to get some of my, I'll try to get some of my old Quad City staff to come out and cheer me on.
Maybe they'll join you.
Doubtful. There's only a handful of people that are insane to do this, and I'm one of them. So
Hey, my hat's off to you.
it's a good time.
As long as you're having fun doing it, that's all that matters.
I know.
It doesn't matter what everybody else.
It's a crazy way to spend a Saturday night, right?
So it's an all-night thing then.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of races. So they have a 100-miler that starts at 7:00 in the morning. I think that starts up by Sterling, and it finishes. So the way that Michelle has it is the 50K starts at 5:00 to help support those 100-mile runners that are going to start coming through. So no one's out there alone.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Especially now that they're running down by you guys. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So you all can try to run together, and that's their last 50 then?
Yeah. Probably be their last 30 miles when they hit me.
50K.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a fun community. It's fun to be a part of. I've met a lot of good people, a lot of people I call friends just by running in the woods or running on the trail. It's a good time.
Watch out for the mountain lions down there.
No, when I was running it the last time I did it, it's a little unnerving when you hear a coyote.
Oh.
I was like, oh, where are you?
You ain't got to worry about a coyote.
I know, but still, the piercing noise was enough.
Yeah, they're definitely more afraid of you than you are of them.
For the first 5 seconds, I was like...
You're not supposed to show dogs your fear, though.
It was dark out. I had my headlamp. Hopefully they didn't see it.
Well, hey, we've been talking quite a while here. So
Yeah.
Thank you. I know we didn't get to everything we want to talk about, but that's a really, really interesting and stuff that we've hit on that. Hopefully we can help some people, right? That's the theory, is hopefully people that listen to this can learn a little bit more about health insurance and the goods and the bads and the uglies with it all. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for
I appreciate
having me.
you taking time out of your busy schedule to come out here and hang out and shoot the shit and catch up. And
I know, it's great.
And we'll do it again.
We will. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, everybody.